You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Mitchell versus Robinson.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Mitchell, you are here in the court today because you claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Rylan.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Robinson, in your defense, you claim you doubt paternity because after Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant, you found out she was sleeping with 4 other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Mitchell, explain to the court, how did you get yourself in this messy situation?
Well, Your Honor, we hung out a few times and he pressured me to have sex with him, and I said I wasn't ready yet. And so then I was hanging out at these apartment complexes and we hooked up and had sex. I lost my virginity and I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks later.
Wow. So, Mr. Robinson, is that account true?
No, Your Honor. We hooked up. One time. That was it.
One time?
Okay.
One time.
Well, that's about all you need is one
that's
time.
About...
Did you use protection?
One time.
Did you use protection?
No.
No protection. All right, so that's a recipe for...
Disaster.
Well, no, for baby making.
And
for responsibility and consequence.
Disaster.
So hold on now, ma'am. Hold on one second. I'm going to get to you in one moment. So you tell him you're pregnant.
Yeah.
She didn't even tell me she was pregnant, Your Honor. She had one of her friends she grew up with inboxed me and her on Facebook and said, I'm not trying to start no drama. I thought I'd let you know that she had sex with 4 other guys. Okay?
Let me get this story straight. You start getting messages from the peanut gallery.
Yes, Your Honor, from her best friend, Your Honor.
Telling you.
My best friend wouldn't say that.
They just want to give you the heads up that she was sleeping with other people.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that you don't think you're necessarily the only potential candidate.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't have a doubt at that time until you get Facebook messages.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's it from you. Ms. Mitchell, you say he took your virginity.
Yeah, he did.
But did you have sex with somebody else?
I never had sex
right
with him,
after
but
he took it?
No, not at all.
So did you have sex with anyone else during the window of conception?
No.
Who are these people telling him these stories?
I don't know.
They
won't tell me, so I don't know.
So people just lying on you?
It's him lying and her.
Oh, so you don't think he even ever got the messages?
No, not at all.
Okay, so let's fast forward to the birth. You have the baby. Is Mr. Robinson with you?
No, but his sister was.
His sister came?
Yes, I sent my sister, Your
So
Honor.
he wasn't at the, you sent her?
Yes, because I had got arrested the night of, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be 100% honest with you, Your Honor. So I said, Erica, will you do me a favor? She said, what, bub? I said, will you make sure you go to the hospital for me? She said, yes, I will.
And so she went?
Yeah, when she came up, she said that she tried to get Ryan to come, but Heather wouldn't let him.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
That's not a lie. That's exactly what she told me.
Your Honor,
That's exactly what she
So hold on.
Not a lie.
Miss Mitchell, your witness is literally jumping out of her seat.
I know.
So I want to hear from her now. Please step up.
Pull this out.
My name's Diana Mitchell, and this is my daughter. And Hope was raised better than to lay around sleeping with men. I have no clue where they come up with that. No clue whatsoever where they come up with 4 men. That is not true. And as far as him saying that he was in jail, I have proof right here that he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail, if he was in jail, how did he get arrested again?
With my daughter in the hospital. And yes, his sister was there, and I said, well, where's Ryan?
It wasn't the day after, it was the 9th.
I'm the one that
there.
said, well, I'm glad you're here. Where's Ryan? And she said, well, I'm trying to get a hold of him. And then I said, did you get a hold of him? And she said, no, Heather won't let him come. That's exactly what she said
Your Honor,
to me.
that is a lie.
So hold on, let me understand this piece of evidence you presented. So Rylan was born on May 7th, and you, Mr. Robinson, you were arrested on May 9th.
Your Honor, no. I was arrested 5/8 of 2014. In the morning.
Okay, but she was born on the
7th. At 10 o'clock on the morning, I was arrested, okay? And that was the day of the file. I have more than just one charge that they picked me up on. Trust and believe. I don't have no shame in my game. I was picked up on more than one charge.
And I was laying in a bed for 14 hours in labor.
He literally.
And you chose to lay down in
The guy,
Okay, and nobody actually
you
did
had
the
nothing
same
in
as
it.
he
You
did.
had nothing in it.
Okay,
He
but-
cheated on
I
you.
do. He didn't cheat on me, sweetie. We wasn't together. I've never done anything to this girl, ever. I've never disrespected
She's
her. I
immature
never
and
nothing.
childish,
She's on
Your Honor.
Facebook
She's 18
updating
years
her
old and she's
status about
immature
me.
and childish. That's my point.
She updated her status about me all the time, claiming that I was on Facebook talking about her, and I wasn't.
Oh, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah,
Who
nobody
cares?
cares about that. Nobody-
But you know, I'm so sick of who cares? Who cares? This is just getting ridiculous. You all in this Facebook and this, if you all would have just stayed on Facebook instead of laying down in the bed with no protection, we wouldn't be here. But now you all want to talk about Facebook all day. And I want you all to understand that
baby.
beautiful
Your Honor, I
little girl
take
is
care
what
of her.
matters.
This is a beautiful baby. This is an intelligent baby, and it is about her, and that is why we're here today. Ryan, when Hope come to me and told me that she was pregnant, first of all, I never believed it was her. The very next day, I took her to the doctor. Yes, she is pregnant. I want to meet this man. I met him. He took me to his mother's house. It was a good time. I mean, it was a nice day. I thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to be okay. Well, then, evidently, he's back with Heather or whatever, and everything changes. Everything changes.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Have you been involved?
Your Honor, yes, I have. I've contacted her and asked about the baby, and I did. You know what I got? Her emotions. And like I told her, Hope, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I want to know how the baby's doing. Okay, and then it got to a point to where she was inboxing me on Facebook talking about, you're worthless. Why am I worthless? Because I don't want to be with you, and I'm not going to come somewhere to where I am disrespected at all. She won't let her spend time with me because of Heather, which has no reason. If she is mine, she has 3 other siblings. She has 2 brothers.
Zero.
She has 2 brothers and a sister. Regardless if they're not mine biologically, I've raised them as mine for the last 3 years of my life. They call me father. They look up to me as a father because I've been there when their father hasn't.
And now I'd like to hear from your witness. Ma'am, please stand up to the podium. State your name.
Heather Hitchcock.
Ms. Hitchcock, you are Mr. Robinson's current girlfriend? Fiance. And what do you have to add to this situation?
I have been I've tried being civil with Hope. She had messaged me on Facebook when me and Ryan was split up, telling me that she was sorry for the way that she was acting.
Oh, yeah. I did say that.
And I told her, regardless, we need to get along. If Ryan's, we need to be civil. I have kids, whatever. And she, agreed to that. But then when it all came down to it, it was she didn't want her around me. If me and Ryan was together, that he wasn't to be a part of Ryland's life.
Because she wrote on Facebook that Ryland wouldn't know what a good home was unless she was with them.
And Your Honor,
No,
they don't
I did
even
not.
know
You
that
did
thing.
too.
How much?
Hold on,
Miss Mitchell,
first off,
where you messed up, I own a 4-bedroom house now.
Listen. You all, like I said before, you got so much to say about one another. But what does this have to do about this baby knowing who her father is? Now, I want to understand this. Are you, Mr. Robinson, do you hope this baby is yours?
I hope and pray to God on everything that I love. I have not known my father for 20 years. And yes, I haven't, but I know who my father is now. I don't want Ryland to grow up like that. If she is mine, by all means, I want to give her everything and anything.
Have you ever met Ryland?
No, I haven't. Because
She won't let us.
she
She's
will not let me.
drama.
The
They
only
haven't
way,
tried.
no, the only
They
way
haven't
she
tried.
told me that I could see Ryland is
Is
if
if
I
he
came
left
by
me.
my safe and if I left Heather.
Ms. Mitchell, let me ask you if his contention is true. Have you told Mr. Robinson that he can come and see Ryland only if he leaves Miss Hitchcock at home?
Leaves her to come to my house to visit her, but not leave her relationship-wise.
Your point is you don't want Miss Hitchcock at your house.
No, and I don't want her around my
Your
daughter
Honor, she
either.
doesn't even look like me or my son.
She
So
looks
Miss-
like I got
Nothing. She
evidence.
doesn't even look like me or my son, who is a spitting image. My son, and when I tell you he's a spitting image of
just
me,
like Hope.
my son is a spitting image of me. And when I tell you
text
that,
message.
Hold
saying
on,
he
what
wants
is this
nothing to do
evidence
with
you
her.
have? Jerome, will you please hand me this evidence?
Look at my son and look at her. They look nothing alike.
She looks
That
like
is
me.
my identical twin.
She looks
She
like
looks
That
me.
is my
her
identical
mother
twin.
when her
She looks
mother
nothing
So
like me.
you submitted these photos
Yes,
to
I
the
did.
court.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And this is a picture of Rylan,
And my
which is
son.
Hope's daughter, and your son on the right.
That looks
Yes.
like Heather.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't
No, it looks like
you.
me.
It doesn't
Just like
look like
me.
you.
No, it looks
And
like
you're
Heather.
saying you don't see a resemblance
Family
between
members.
these two children.
No, honestly, I
Well,
don't.
they have two different
No.
moms. She looks just like me.
Now this picture,
Is of me and our 3 kids, which 2 of them are biologically not mine. But I've been there so much to them that they look up to me as a father figure.
Okay.
They look at me and they call me father. They call
and
me
this
father.
evidence you are submitting to show that
That
you
I
can
am-
be a good
that
father.
I am a good
He
father.
is a good father.
Yeah.
Not just the one that's his, but all 3 of them he's been there
So,
for. regardless.
hold on, Miss Mitchell, let me be clear. You believe Mr. Robinson is the father.
Yes.
You know that
Yes.
because you say you didn't sleep
Yes,
with
Your
anybody
Honor.
else.
Yes, Your
So if you want him to be a part of your daughter's life and you believe that he is her biological father, and although he has doubts if he is in fact her biological father, he wants to be in her life, why has this man never held or seen this baby
Because
yet?
he
hasn't
chooses
been
not
there.
to.
He hasn't been
Because,
there.
'Cause she don't want her-
because she does not for instance, if you recall,
if you
just a
really-
couple minutes ago, I said that that Rylan has 3 siblings. She said she has none.
The only reason that is stated is because it was told by me, by Ryan's family member,
Yes.
he's testing the wrong one. I don't know her children, I don't know her, and I don't know them.
Well-
I know
So
nothing
you're
about
saying,
them.
hold on.
And that's why that
you're
was
talking
said.
about another child
Yes, it is.
that is not the subject of this particular case.
She's talking about.
I'm ready for the witnesses to be seated. Ms. Hitchcock, Ms. Mitchell, please have a seat. Thank you.
Your Honor, all I want to know here today
Oh.
is that if this kid is mine,
Thank goodness somebody's finally talking about Rylan. And what she first and foremost has a right to know and to have in her life is her mother
but also her.
and also her father. And if that is you, you've got to figure out how to make that happen. And Miss Mitchell, you also have to come up off all of your, the barriers that you are creating, that you admit to. You don't want him to be a part of her life. You don't want this. You don't want that. At some point, if this man is your child's father, you got to let that go.
If they want to get technical, Rylan has everything she wants at my house. She has clothes, she has Jordan outfits, she has a crib, she has a pack and play, she has toys. She has everything she needs, Your Honor. But until they learn to quit disrespecting me and to quit disrespecting my family about all this stuff that they call
So
me.
you're saying the baby has everything she needs. So
Yes,
you
she does,
have
Your Honor.
a room and a
Yes, Your
place
Honor.
for her
Yes,
to
I
sleep.
do,
So
Your Honor.
this is perfect because I'd like to also deal with this arbitration. Now, Ms. Mitchell, you're suing Mr. Robinson for child care expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Baby Rylan's 2 months old.
Yes, Your
For
Honor.
the past 2 months, you've been doing this by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
Approximately how much have you spent? Do you have any evidence for this
Yes.
court as to how much you've spent thus far on her care? Whew, finally a moment of silence, Jerome.
Yeah.
Oh. So I have monthly expenses for Rylan. Diapers at $35, wipes at $30, formula $145, clothes $40, bottles, baby laundry detergent $20, total monthly expenses $270.
Your Honor, can
and
I-
you have receipts.
Yeah.
I see the receipts attached. So the baby's 2.5 months old.
Yes, Your Honor.
Doing the math here, that's $270 times 2.5 months, which is $675, half of which would be $337.50. If you're in fact baby Rylan's father, you would indeed owe her half of those child care expenses.
Yes.
But I cannot rule on that claim until we know the results.
I don't have a problem with buying Rylan anything. And like I
Good,
said,
that's what I wanted to hear you say. Now that's enough of that conversation, because if in fact she is your biological child, you are responsible to share in those expenses.
Yes, Your Honor,
now,
I am.
We're finally back to baby Rylan and the results. Are we ready to hear them?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I am.
Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Mitchell v. Robinson, when it comes to 2-month-old Rylan Mitchell, Mr. Robinson, you are the father. So now, before I ask Ms. Mitchell if it would be okay if you meet your daughter for the first time, I have to say, concerning the arbitration where you were asking the court for $337.50. That's what you would be entitled to if it was determined that Mr. Robinson was in fact Rylan's biological father. It has been determined that you are, and so I am awarding Ms. Mitchell $337.50, which is half of the child care expenses for baby Rylan's 2.5 months she's been here. And she's spent and she's presented receipts for. So you owe her that money. Do we understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the judgment is for the plaintiff on that. And now I have to ask you, can this man please see his little girl?
Please, that's all I want. That's all I want.
I will meet you all in my
kiss her.
chambers. Court is adjourned. You two have to talk, all right? I understand you're in a relationship. I understand all of that. But you two made this beautiful baby. And you all have to make the rules, and you all have to figure out how to raise her together. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's so worth it, isn't she?
She is.
I know it's been a long, tough road. You've been through a lot, I can see in your face. You okay? I wish you all the very, very best. Good luck to you.